So what you want to do to start this project is to get your paper ready. So you want 3 sheets, and it needs to be 5 3/4 by 8 3/4. So I'm just going to slice that off, and you should have 3 sheets like that. Okay, and when you've done that, you need 1 sheet that is 7 3/4, and I'm just going to check this one. Yeah, you should have one that's 5 3/4 by 7 3/4. So it's just that inch shorter. Okay, so 3 5 3/4 by 8 3/4, and 1 5 3/4 by 7 3/4. Now what you're going to do is you're going to score. If I can grab my scoreboard, here it is. Okie dokie. We're just going to take this shorter sheet out of the way for a moment, and you need to score each of the sheets that you've just done at 1 inch. You're going to have them go obviously acrossways, horizontal, not vertical, because this is how we're going to join all the paper together. So just at 1 inch, there's one. The next one at 1 inch, and the third one at 1 inch. Okay, now when you've done that, you want to move your scoreboard out of the way, and we're just going to make those folds and just burnish them with our bone folder. Okay, now you've done that, the first thing to do is to grab your first piece of paper. I'm going to use 3-in-1 because I think there's a little bit of give with 3-in-1, whereas with art glitter glue you kind of have to get it right the first time. Might help if I had the right bottle. Goodness me, 3-in-1 would be good, not Fabri-Tac. And one that's actually open. Okay, so I'm just going to put some glue up here all the way along. And as I say, I'm using Fabri-Tac because it just gives me that little bit longer to attach this. Now you're going to turn this sheet upside down from where your fold is, and you're going to pop it on the top there and line it up perfectly. Get that nice and straight with the edge. That's really important. Okay, when you've done that, we're going to take this bottom part. You're going to do exactly the same thing. Add the glue, but this time you're going to get your sheet with the flap at the top, and you're going to put it down that way. Follow me so far? Hope so. Now I'm just going to make sure, I'm going to put my fingers under here and make sure that I've got that spot on at the top there. Hope you can see. All right, so that's there. So now you're left with, it's difficult to show you. Let's see if I can raise you a little bit. So now you have 3 pieces stuck together with a little flap at the top. Okay, now on this flap here we're going to take this shorter piece of paper and we're going to glue that. Oh, be careful with your glue, don't do what I just did and get all messy. And I'm going to glue that down again. I'm picking it up, I'm getting my fingers under that flap, and I'm making sure that that is level with that top of the page, making sure I've got no excess glue. And there you go. You should now have a fold out, a fold out piece like so. Oh, it's getting glued. This is what you don't want. Okay, just make sure you've got no glue that's going to stick out under there. Get rid of the glue bogies. So there you go. It should just open up into 4 pages like so. Okay, the next thing you're going to do, I have taken this kit. I think this is from chapter 1, if I remember rightly. I will check that. Yeah, let me just check my computer, because I'm pretty sure, yeah, chapter 1. Okay, this is their patchwork kit, and I'll put that in the description. And what I've done is I've just printed 2 pages to a page, and the way that my printer prints, it does them 5 by just under 7. Now your printer may do something different, but with my one it prints at that size if I do 2 on a page. Okay, and I always click the button that says fill up the page, if that makes sense. It kind of goes full page, and if you click it, it kind of expands your image just slightly, and if you say original size, it kind of brings it back down. So this is me doing it 2 to a page and clicking the full size button, or whatever it's called, just in there. There's like a little tick box, but you need to look at your printer and see what size that you need. I've printed these off so that I'm going to have a border all the way around the outside of my paper, and I'm okay with that. So let me pause this, let me chop these up, and then I'll show you what we're going to do next. Okay, so I've now cut up all of my papers, and leave my glasses out of the way. And the next things I'm going to do, now I've got a nice big chunky border. If you don't want that, then you obviously need to make your print off your papers slightly bigger. And remember, our base is 5 3/4 by 8 3/4. Sorry, 7 3/4. Now we've done the flaps. So if you want yours to be slightly bigger, then by all means, make yours much bigger. So I've got some neutral colours and 2 pink and 2 blue. But again, you can print off whatever papers you fancy. To start with, I may need to print some extra ones actually, because I've just remembered I haven't printed any for pockets, so I shall probably print a little bit more in a second. So yeah, so I'm going to start here, and this is going to be my front cover. And again, I think I'm just, for quickness today, I have used art glitter glue in the first project I showed you, but this one I'm going to print. I'm going to actually glue with this, because I think it's just that little bit quicker, and yeah, it just seems to adhere a little bit quicker. So for speed for this video, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to get that in the center. I'm just going to grab my little doojit. This is one of those cake spreaders, by the way. It's really handy. And then I'm going to what I'm going to do is I'm going to go backwards on this piece of paper here. So I've done my front, and then I'm going to do a neutral one here. As I say, I'm just going to use this one because the 3-in-1 just seems to be quite quick. I don't know whether that's just my imagination, but it just seems to be a little bit quicker for me. I don't know why. Maybe it's because the art glitter glue takes ages to come out of my bottle. So I'm going to put another one. Let's see. I'm going to put that pink one there. I'm just seeing where my flowers are on this. Let's see. Oh, actually, I should have done a plain one there. Oh, never mind. We'll do. I don't want another flower one though. I'll do that pink one there. Yeah, I just realised you should never really do patterns, because then when you mess them up, you're like, oh. Yeah, I've done 2 flower. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This is another little prototype. Okay, and then on this one, I'm going to have another plain one. And as I mess that up, I will probably go for, I probably will just go for another plain one actually. Let's just go for that one here on the back. Okay, so there we go. I'm trying to keep in frame, guys. I'm sorry if I nip out of it. Okay. So there we go. So that's that way. And then I'm going to open it up this way and do the same thing again. Whoop. So let's see. We'll start with the pink this time. Oh, got a bit of glue on where I shouldn't. Never mind. That's okay. I'm going to glue that in a second anyway. Ooh. Okay. I'll glue that there. I like the big border because when I did another prototype of this, I found if my paper got too close to the crease, I kind of messed it up a little bit. And it kind of got caught. So I just decided that I don't mind the border. Obviously, if that bothers you, just make sure you leave enough gap in between the paper and the folds, because otherwise you'll find that it's difficult to fold back up. So just be careful with that. So yeah, I'm just going ahead and covering each of my pieces of paper and gluing them on. And hopefully this at the end will be a good addition to a journal. I'm sorry if I'm off camera, guys. I'm trying really hard. It's very difficult. I've had some very difficult shots today that I've had to edit out, so forgive me. I'll show you in a second anyway. If I'm out of shot while I'm gluing it on, I'll show you in just a moment what I've done. Okay, so you've now got this side all completed, and if we fold it back up, whoops, the right way would be good, that way, then we have all of this side completed. Okay, so that is the first step in creating your flip out that we're making. Now the next thing to do, this is my first prototype, so we you can see from this one I made this ever so thick. I used scrapbook paper, and yeah, it was way too thick. We now need to make these doors that you can see. Right, I'm back. So all I've done in the meantime is I've just put a little pocket on the front of little tuck spot really on the front of the piece that we've already made, and then I'm just cutting 2 pieces of paper, and they need to be 5 by 7 3/4. Okay, so I'm just chopping those now, getting all my scraps out of the way, because I think that's what was filling up my desk. I've had quite a play with this project, so we want 7 3/4, 5 by 7 3/4. There's my 2 pieces. I'm just going to move my cutter out of the way. Now what you need to do is you need to score. I'm not the best scorer in the world, but we'll try. You need to score at 1/2, 3/4, and let me try and remember this. Just have to pause that there and add. So the next score line should be at 3. I'm gonna have to measure again. I'm doubting myself all the time because I don't work in inches. So we want so that would be 2 6/8. Oh, I hope this is right. 2 6/8. We're just going to go for it and check this one. So let's go through that again. So it's 1/2 inch, 3/4, and then 2 and I think I've done it as 6/8 there. That may be wrong. Hang on. Oh, don't you just love me? No, I'm correct. It's 2 6/8. Okay, 3 6/8. Oh God, I'm going to go through it again. Stop that there for a second. So you're going to go at 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, and then 3 6/8. Gosh, I hope that's correct. I'm just going to check it now. We'll just do one for a moment. Make sure I've got it right. Oh, I guess I should be kind of one of those people that kind of does it all off camera and then just comes on all swish. But you know that's not the kind of crafter I'm trying to be. We're all beginners, so right, I'm just going to make sure I actually bend that correctly because I didn't quite get that. So you're going to just burnish those 2 little marks you've made, and this one here for now. I'm going to just make sure this fits, and then I think it's halfway across. Ooh, do I? So that goes up to about there. The other way. I think we've done it. I think we have done it. Yay! So let's do another one because it was all confuddled. So 1/2 inch. So much easier to work in centimeters. 3/4 inch, and 3 6/8. Okay, I'm just going to fold that in. We're going to cut that off in a second, so don't worry too much about that extra little flap there. I just wanted to make sure I had enough paper, enough card to do what I needed to do. Okay, we're just going to make some doors now for the front of this. Yay, look at that. I feel so happy now. So these can be cut off, or you could just glue them down, but I'm going to cut them. Okay, so yeah, I'm just going to cut where I've scored. I'm not going to use the cutter for this. I'll just grab my scissors and yeah, just cut that off there. I'm kind of going on the outside line just to make sure I have got enough I'm going to decorate it anyway, so it doesn't matter if it's a little bit wibbly. So there's one. And then I want you to cut off the next one. Trust me, I've measured like 500 times. We're all good. Oh man. Okay. Okay, there we go. Oh, the relief. The relief. Oh dear. Okay. So you should have two pieces like this. Okay, after all of that that messing around. And what we're going to do is we're going to first of all glue this side here. Now don't worry that please don't worry that this little spine that I've made is bigger than your actual booklet, because by the time you filled it with all of your ephemera it's going to be quite chunky, so that's why we did a little 1/4 of an inch there. Okay, so what we're going to do is put some glue. I'm actually going to use some tape for this. I think it might be a bit neater, so I'm just going to grab some of my old, this is quite old, it's got quite yellow, some of my old double-sided, and run that just down there and snip that off. Can you see, guys? I hope so. I'm trying to get you as high as possible so that I can get as much in. Oh, I just stuck it to my booklet. Oh, it's just torn it. Oh my goodness, I'm having the worst day. The worst day at crafting. I'm not taking it out though. It has to be shown that everybody has these bad days. I'm going to have to cover that with something because I've just stuck my double-sided tape to it. Note to self, move project out of way when dealing with glue or double-sided tape. That's okay. We can fix it. We can fix it. That's the whole point of crafting, isn't it? You know, it's not supposed to be perfection first time round. It certainly won't be with me. Okay, let's put that on there. Just going to tear that off and get that out of the way so it doesn't bother me anymore. And just snip that end off. Making sure you don't snip the paper like I just did. It's fine. Okay, so I'm going to have to do something with that back. That's fine. Let's take this off. And what you need to do, let's turn it over. What you need to do is make sure that you get this in the right place. This is really important because otherwise your doors are going to be wonky and we don't want that. So I'm just going to take my tape off and then I'm just going to turn it this way and get my tape right where I need it to be. Fold that up. Yep, that's not too bad. I'm quite happy with that. Yep. Next one. You can do this however, whatever's the best way. If you want to do it vertically, horizontally, standing on your head. Oh dear, I couldn't put anything past me at the moment. Okay, let's try and get some of this tape off. There we go. Right. And again, I'm going to try and line up my front so that I get this correct. And then just put that behind. Oh, try that again. I really want to line it up at the front in case I do it wrong. Okay, I'm going to take the risk and just line up the paper and hope that it's all cut beautifully and that I've not made a that I've not made a boo-boo, which, let's face it, I may well have done. No, I'm not happy with that. Okay, I'm going to do it this way. See, when people show you how easy it is to do this stuff, it's not when you start out. It's really not. Okay. Please. Yay! Okay, I think I've done it. It's a bit wobbly. I can see it's a bit off. But you know what? For a first go, I'm okay with that. So there is a little tiny bit. Can you see just there? But I'm okay with that. Hooray! We've done it. Okay, so now you've got your booklet inside and your two doors. The next step is we're going to cover. You can see it's wonky here. I'm not happy with that, am I? Am I? Yeah, I'm not going to worry about it too much. I think this side, yeah, this side's a bit further over. I'm just going to pull that, guys, and hope that I don't tear too much because, yeah, that worked. I can just see that I've not got it quite lined up so my spine's a little less. Okay, let's try that again. There we go. And then I'm just going to get that down. Okay, that's better. That's much better. There we go. There we go. There we go. You should be able to see your little spine just in the inside here. Lovely. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I want to just cover over this piece of paper here and this piece of paper here. I'm going to leave the spine. So you need 2 pieces. Let me tell you how big they need to be. They need to be 2 3/4 of an inch by, it's these inches again. You guys are driving me crazy. 7 3/4, isn't it? Yeah, of course it is. So it's 2 7/8 actually. I beg your pardon. It's 2 7/8 by 7 3/4. So let's do that. 2 7/8 by 7 3/4. Okay, I'm just chopping 2 7/8 by 7 3/4 and hoping I've got it right and I'm not leading you all astray again. Okay, 7 3/4. Let's get this spot on this time. I tell you what it is, it's working in inches. I find it really alien because obviously being a teacher, we just don't teach in inches. It's all metric. So it's, yeah, it's a little much. Okay, there we go. So that's just about it. Anything that sticks out, I think this is going to stick out slightly, I will obviously trim off. That's absolutely fine. So I'm just going to glue this down on the inside of my doors, if you like. I'm going to just go for the 3-in-1, just because it's gives me a little bit of wiggle room. I find the art glitter glue just doesn't give me any wiggle room at all, so I'm just going to get rid of that glue for a start. That's coming out the top there. Okay, and that should, yeah, there's just a little bit of overlap there, and I'm just going to trim that off with my scissors. I hope I'm on camera, guys. I'm trying to keep in shot as best I can. Okay, I'm not worrying about this one at the minute because you'll see why in a little while. I'm not worried about the bit that's overhanging here. You'll see. Okay. I'm not going to glue on there because that's not clever. You'd think I would have learnt my lesson. Goodness, I made enough boo-boos. Okay. Okie dokie dokie. It's another rotten day today. I don't know what it's like with you, where you are, but it's horrible. Not that I'm complaining. You know me, I moaned when it was hot, so that one's a bit better cut. I've actually cut that one a bit more accurately, and that fits beautifully. So there we go. That is your next stage, and your doors should close beautifully, I hope. Don't worry if they're a bit wibbly, because as I say, we're going to be doing something fancy to the front. Here we go. Okay, there we have it. So just to recap again, because I was all over the place, that is 2 7/8 by 7 3/4. Okay, those 2 panels there. Goodness me, it's hard working in imperial, is it? Yes, it is imperial, isn't it? Imperial measures rather than the metric. Okay, next step is to create something that is going to be on our doors, because most of our door is going to be cut away. We want something large, so I'm going to go and have a look in my stash and decide what I'm going to pick this time. Oh my gosh, I just had to have a break. I was going to I just realised I actually did it slightly differently to how the lady did on the video, and that's okay because I've decided that I am going to do it differently. I'm going to be a bit of a rebel. Oh dear. Oh, I had to have a break because I'll be honest with you, I started to go, oh my god, I can't do this video. I cannot do this video. This video is awful. I can't do this video. What am I doing? I can't do this video. This is just awful. I'm making those mistakes. I can't even count. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so what I thought we would do is I'm going to, in the other video, what the lady did, she had the extra piece of paper that I've cut off. she actually used a slightly bigger piece of paper and had flaps that folded back, and then she cut those out. I'm going to try something a little bit different with this. Okay, I had a little bit of a check of the other video because she did it slightly differently and I'm doing it my way, if you like. And I'm just thinking about how I want to make this work. Forgive me, I'm thinking on the fly, but that's kind of what I do. Yeah. Okay, I've got some scraps here of the paper kit, and I'm wondering if we can make a flower that is similar to this one in here. Maybe slightly more rounded, because what we need is a closure for this, and those two flowers are actually going to pop through a slit and come out the other side. So I am thinking that they are going to be attached like so, but this way actually. They're going to be attached like this because I want them to kind of flap that way. Yeah, this is the bit you don't see. When you see videos that are all very polished and lovely, they've done all this bit off camera, but I wanted to do it on camera to kind of show you my thought processes. Do you know what? I think what I'm going to do, yeah, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to use these two little strips that I have here. Let's get some sizes of them because I think they're slightly different. So let's trim them up. So we want a piece of paper, let's see, yeah, that's about right actually. You want a piece of paper that's about 3 inches by, that's 3 3/4. That's about right, I would say. And I'm just going to trim them up so they're roughly the right size. So about that size. Doesn't matter if you're slightly bigger or slightly smaller for this. And I am going to grab my bone folder and I'm just going to make a little, let's see, I'm going to make an inch score line on both of those. Okay, hope you can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to fold them down. I don't know which way I want them to go. Let's move this out of the way. So this one we want to go that way, like so. Make sure that's, yeah, I don't want that longer than that there actually. I might have to cut these down slightly, and that one there. So let's take those two and I'm just going to cut that down slightly more and then I'll give you measurements. So now I have, that needs to be straight though, for heaven's sake. Goodness me. That's better. So that now I have 2.5 inches with a flap of 1 inch. So that's 3.5 inches across approximately by nearly 3. But again, it's just, you know, just approximate. You need to have your 2 pieces of paper like that. And then what we are going to do is we are going to glue those down. Then we're going to put a piece of paper on here. And then we're going to definitely tidy up this mess that's along this part here. I don't know why that's like that. Let's get rid of that little bit of paper that is sticking out, which I didn't think would show, but actually it is going to show because I'm doing this differently. So I'm just going to trim that off. Okie dokie, that's that. I might use this pink actually for the front doors. But first of all, I'm going to work out what I'm actually going to put on these two and how they are going to meet in the middle. Right, bear with me. I'm going to grab the kit, the rest of the kit I've printed off, and I'm going to come back to you. So these are the fussy cuts that come with this kit. And I am wondering if it would be good to use this flower here and this flower here. So the first thing I'm going to do is snip those out. You know me and fussy cuts, I don't do well with fussy cuts, but I'm going to today. I'll get this bit of sticky tape off of from my scissors. Okay, and I'm going to cut this one. And I'm thinking, actually, I think I want that bigger one. Let's grab this this chunkier one over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut those out like so. Might be better off with smaller scissors, but I'm just going to take that that stem, that stalk, if you'd like to call it, from this one. This is probably going to be the most confusing, chaotic video I've done so far. I was like, I'm going to do it sort of live. I'm not going to plan it too much. I'm going to have a go at it, and then I'm going to do it on camera. Oh dear. This is that time when you look yourself in the mirror and go, don't do that. Oh dear, it might all go horribly wrong. If you're still with me, you're lovely, because if you've sat through this... Oh my goodness. The lady that actually did the original video is incredibly talented and very professional, and has obviously been doing this for some time compared to me, who's been doing it for 5 minutes and thought she'd have a go at making this. Oh dear. So these are going to go on here, and we need to glue one as close to that edge as possible. So I'm going to pick, I think that edge is probably the best edge. I don't mind a little bit of white showing through, although they could overlap. I don't know, could they overlap? Could they? No, they can't. They've got to be right up to that edge and stop there. And the same with this one. So I think, yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some glue. Where's my art glitter glue gone? Somewhere in the depths of the desk. There it is. Fallen over on the side. Needs refilling, actually. Oh goodness, I'm so sorry this is a bit of a muddle. I thought I'd be a bit more professional. But then I'm not a professional crafter, so are any of us? I know some people do it for a living. I'm nowhere near that yet. So I'm just going to make sure that's up to the edge but not over. I think that's actually really important. And the same on this side. So let's get that one on. Okay. So that's that one. And then this one's this one. And I'm going to put that there. Right up to the edge but not over. Move that a bit nearer. There we go. So that's how it's going to look. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to leave my flap, but I'm going to cut all the way around this flower without destroying it. Oh dear. Yeah, so just go all the way around. I think this is the difference between people that scrapbook, because it's kind of, those scrapbooks are perfection, whereas we kind of go for, I mean, we are perfectionists, but we're shabby chic perfectionists, I guess. I don't know. Right, I hope that's going to be okay. It looks okay. That looks like that's going to work. And this is going to be hidden anyway, so, but I just want to make sure the flower has enough to kind of hold itself on with, which I think it does. We are good. So we'll do the same with this one. I hope you're having a good day, guys. I hope you're having a good time watching this, and it's not too crazy for you. An amateur. Oh goodness. There we go. Just going to cut round. I've actually had to go and get a cup of tea just to calm myself down. I was like, no, this is all going wrong. Oh man. Right, okay, there we go. I'm quite happy with that. So now I have my 2 flowers, and yeah, that's good. I'm going to glue these on. Yep, you heard it here. I'm going to glue them on and go for it. Let's get these on. Right, so I'm going to put those in the center of my doors where I want them to be, and the same with this one. This is going to be a really long video, isn't it? I don't like doing them more over sort of half an hour or so. Be bored senseless with me. Oh, wrong way around. Oh no. Oh man, bad day. So this is why I use the 3-in-1. It's a little bit more forgiving than this stuff. Okay. Oh dearie me. I can see. Why have we got that bit rising up? Is that because of lack of glue? I believe it is. Let's get some glue under there. Okay. Just open that up, make sure we're not getting glue anywhere else. Oh dear, that's so funny. I'm just going to burnish that because I can see that tearing, but it won't in a moment because we're going to reinforce it with some more pieces. So for this front part, we need again 2 3/4 by, it's not 2 3/4, is it? It's 2 7/8 by 7 3/4. So I'm going to chop up some more paper and I'll be back with you. I'm back with a big glass of squash. This is actually gin. Oh my goodness. I am so thirsty. Stress. Oh my goodness. So that is on. I'm going to put some light on now because it's getting a bit dark. There we go. That's a little bit better. So I've just put some doors on, and it has stuck to my cover, stuck a little bit, and pulled some some more paper off, but it's okay. It's my first go. So the next thing that I'm going to need you to do is we're going to have another piece, and again I'm going to remind you of the measurements of this. We need another piece of paper. This one I am going to make, because let's push that in, so it's 5 3/4 by 8 3/4, because we want the lip to go over the top there. So yeah, so if you get a piece of paper 5 3/4 across by 8 3/4, so I'm going to do that now while I'm on camera and quickly do that. 5 3/4 again, by 8 3/4 this time. In fact, I'm going to do 8 1/2, so I've got a little bit extra to go over the back there, so 8 1/2 this time. And the first mark that I'm going to make is going to be, I'm going to measure. So if I've got 8 1/2, whoop, so let's see. So it's 8 1/2 and I want 7 3/4, so I need to mark at, oh, let's get that over there a little bit, make that straight. So 7 3/4, so I want to mark at 3/4 of an inch, I believe. I think that's right. Correct me if I'm wrong. Actually don't, because it's just going to make me cry. Right, that's 7 3/4. So it's not actually going to leave us a lot, but I'm just going to, I'll go at the no, that isn't going to leave us a lot, so I'll do, yeah, so that's fine. So we're going to score a 1/2 inch and 3/4 of an inch again. I think that will be okay. That should be enough for what we're doing. So you've got a piece of paper that is 8 1/2 and you've scored at 1/2 inch and 3/4 of an inch. Okay, and again we're going to just make sure those folds are nicely done, and this is going to fit over the top of your paper. Now you could, as I said, you could make this flap a little bit longer if you want it to be a bit safer. I think I'm okay with that. It's a bit wobbly. Just going to make sure my folds are correct there. I'm just going to burnish that one and then push that one that way, and just make sure that's straight, because it doesn't feel very straight. No, it isn't. There we go. Okay, and now So you've got your book the right way up, and you're going to turn it over, and then we're going to glue this piece to the back, just that little flap there. I'm going to do it with the 3-in-1 I think this time, just to make sure, again, I've got some wiggle room. That makes sense. So just on this top flap here, you're 1/2 inch. Okay. And I'm actually going to do it this way. Make sure I get it correct. Like so. Make sure that's up the right way, which it is. Make sure I've got it right on the correct part of my book. Turn it over, and there we go. Now I'm not too worried that it's sticking out a bit, because as I say, at the moment the sides are flopping because there's nothing in there. But once we fill it with ephemera, that will become a bit bulky. So now you've done that, what you need to do is we're going to measure to cut these 2 pieces out. Okay, so let's get this right. First time please. Okay, so that is exactly 2 3/4 inches from the top. So from here, 2 3/4 inches. I need a pencil. I'll use a pen, it's okay. 2 3/4 inches. I'm just going to mark a dot here, and then we need to leave at least 2 inches for that to pop through. And I believe that should be our line that we need to cut. Now if this goes wrong, I've messed the whole thing up, and you can laugh at me. Oh dear. Now I can't find my pen lid. Oh well. So I need to get my craft knife now and actually cut this out a little slit into my card. And all I've done is I've measured from the top of the page to where the flower begins, and then I've measured how wide the flower is, and then hopefully this should be wide enough that my flower will go through and close my booklet. Okay, I'm just going to lift out that piece, and yes, I know I could have done it before I stuck it on, which would have been much more intelligent, but hey ho, I've done it now. And if it works, it's even better, it's even more of a success. Okay, yay, sort of. There's still a little gap there, but I'm all right with that. I'm okay with that, because it needs to, as you're putting it down, you can see it almost reaches the edge of my flower. And there you go, that is your closure. And obviously you can burnish this to get this to lay flat. There we go. So what we need to do now is to decorate the front in exactly the same way, with another piece of paper. Create that same slit, and then it's time to decorate, which I think will probably be for another video, because you're probably sick of me by now. Right, bear with me, I'm going to get my cover on and I'll come back. Okay, I have done it. I'm just going to burnish my flowers down one more time. There you go. So it's quite easy now. Easy, she says. This just flips up and then opens, and then you have your big piece here, and I am going to leave it there for today, simply because I just don't want to overwhelm myself, let alone you. I think that little slit there needs a tiny little bit more of a cut, but that's okay, we can do that now. Yeah, it's best to just fiddle around with this just a touch until you get it just the way you want it. You may need to take off like another tiny slither just to get that closing perfectly, because it's let's see, there we go, perfect. And then you just flatten your flowers, and there you go. Okay, I'm sweating. I hope you enjoyed that video. It certainly was fun for me, trying something new on camera. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. I did try really hard with that project, and I really hope you can you will enjoy it, and you'll come back tomorrow for the decorating, because this kit is stunning and it's going to be really fun now. I've done the technical bit to start decorating this, ready to go either in a journal or as an extra present with a journal. Okay guys, thank you so much for sticking to the end. Lots of love. I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care.